Well, I'm going to show you some research in relation to media companies, okay? And this is why none of them have been responding to me, because they all appear to be involved and are being controlled through this system of fraud, and it will continue. And of course, if the media are being controlled, we're only being given information in relation to what the government want us to see, or anyone involved in this fraud. They're deliberately withholding information because they control the media. And I think people have been killed deliberately to control the media. It's that big. So let's look at them. So let's start with the local newspaper. Remember, I've done a little video about the local newspaper, the Bournemouth Daily Echo, and the fact that they have put loads of articles out. Now, the Bournemouth Daily Echo, known as the Daily Echo, aka the Bournemouth Echo, is a local newspaper that covers the area of South East Dorset, England, where this all starts. Remember, it's where my company is based, including the towns Poole, Bournemouth and Christchurch. Was published by NewsQuest Southern Limited. Okay, so they started it. Let's have a look at NewsQuest Media Southern Limited. Okay, now you can see it's a slightly different company name. This will all be part of the fraud. Okay, so they are trading or making it look like they're under this name, but they're actually under this name, and that is to try and avoid accountability. It's all part of this fraudulent system. But let's look at them. Okay, so this will be the same linked company. They were incorporated in 1864. And this is really important. Companies House was incorporated in 1844. So I believe this has all been planned since then. I think wars are linked to this. I think misinformation through the educational system, which means history lessons could have been altered to make people succumb to this method of fraud and ultimately end in the digital currency being used to control us all and nothing to be done about it. And remember, it is a crime. And remember, people are suffering. And remember, people are dying. So it can't be a good thing. No matter what way you look at it, you cannot commit a crime against the public, no matter what the end game is. So this is their Companies House record. They originally were called Southern Newspapers Public Limited Company in 1864. And then they've changed their names. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. You'll see a lot of this. Now it says the PDF of the incorporation document. Okay, you can see here, okay, it's a completely different name. So this is linked to the Companies House records. You can see it's called Hampshire Advertiser and Echoes Limited. But Companies House records don't even mention that. Okay, it's fraud. Right back with Companies House, this is fraud. This is linked through as an incorporation document. They have to say what the companies were advertising as. Otherwise, it's false advertising. Sorry, what they're trading as. It's false. But here we go. All of these names, none of them refer to the incorporation document that's actually there in relation to this company. This is fraud. It is all part of this fraudulent system. And let's look at bottom of the incorporation document. And you'll see right at the bottom here. Okay. Jordan and Sons Limited. Can you read that? Lord Jordan and Sons. So right back then, this was being planned. This document is from later 1923. So although they were incorporated in 1864, the records suggest that they were incorporated in 1923. But anyway, the most serious concern is that it's a fake name not being advertised, okay, and this is all part of the fraud to avoid accountability, to allow money to be fed through these accounts and to commit serious fraud against the public. And it's been going on for decades. And let's look at NewsQuest Essex Limited. Remember, Jordan's is linked to it. So here we go, NewsQuest Essex Limited. They were originally called Phone Case Limited, according to the records, in 1995. And this one is correct, Phone Case Limited. And there you can see they were started by Swift Incorporation Limited. So these are the incorporation documents. When you go in through Companies House, you can click on these and look at these, but I anticipate they're going to change it to try and hide all of this. There's another video on that later. And you can see same incorporation document, Jordan and Sons. Okay. Fake bank documents have been acquired, remember, in relation to my company that was started with Jordan's. Let's look at Newsquest Capital Limited, all linked through to the Bournemouth Echo. Ooh. So they were originally called, according to this, Framley Lawn Limited. And there you go, this one's correct, Framley Lawn Limited. What's on the bottom here? Oh yeah, Legibus Secretaries. I've highlighted that because that's linked through to this. Here you go, Legibus Secretaries Limited. So what you'll see evidential change through all of this from the documents. It's important I do that. It's evidence, okay, Legibus Nominees Limited. So this is still the incorporation document for that Newsquest. Oh, was it not here? Now here we go. Clifford Chance then starts frequently. Starts. I think Clifford Chance. Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, here we go. I was wondering why Howard made the connection then. But here we go. Here's the connection. So this company is registered as Clifford Chance Newcastle Limited. They were originally called Legibus Nominees. And as you've seen, Legibus Nominees Limited is mentioned on that other document. Okay, so this is connected. So that means that now Clifford Chance, which is a lawyer's firm, I believe, is now connected. They were established, this company was established in 1952. Let's look at the incorporation document for them. Legibus Nominees Limited. Now this is important. At the bottom, and you'll see this in a lot of the research I do, the Solicitors Law Stationery Society Limited. Okay, you'll see on other videos, they did not even exist at the time of the incorporation documents. So why are they being advertised? This is fraud. Now all limited companies have to be registered with Companies House. They've been trading since 1844, but this company was not registered until a long time after the incorporation of these companies. But yet here we are, they are advertised. It is fraud. This is why they're so worried about. This is why I have been followed. We have had articles, items on our phones trying to track our location, my wife and I. We have had documents altered, emails deleted. We've had people trying to get items from our vehicle twice. This is how big it is. So let's look at Clifford Chance. It's a British multinational law firm headquartered in London and a member of the Magic Circle Group of London-based multinational law firms. Clifford Chance is the largest law firm headquartered in the UK by revenue, having a total revenue of £2.04 billion in 2022 and 2023. Let's have a look at Clifford Chance LLP. And you'll find a lot of the addresses are the same throughout my videos. So this is their incorporation document. You see Clifford Chance LLP. Okay. And this is important. It links very quickly through from Clifford Chance to Abraham Robin Guy, which links through to Mithras Limited. Now Mithras Limited, okay, if you look at Mithras Group, and this does feature in another video, here's their Companies House registration record. They were incorporated in 2003. Okay, a lot of the companies come from 2003 in my research. Bear in mind, there's over 5 million companies registered, and all of my research focuses around very few. Almost impossible that I've reached the same conclusions. But here you go, this is important. This company, Mithras Group, was started by Temple Secretaries Limited, 788 790 Finchley Road. Again, all part of this fraud, this system of fraud. And here you go, this is the incorporation document, just so you can see. This is an official document linked to the Companies House records, Finchley Road. Now, Mithras, I've mentioned it in another video in a bit more detail, but it actually stems, I don't know if I've only recently found out about it, the Mithraims, I think you pronounce, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. They stem from a Roman belief linked to an Iranian belief as well, linked to it. And I've done it, if you watch one of my other videos, you'll see I've gone into it a bit more detail, but they stem from the Roman Empire, and it all seems to have many links in relation to it. They've actually called their companies the name after it. So the Mithras Group, here we go again, see Temple Secretaries. You can also see on, where did I put it? Company Directors, here we go. Company Directors Limited. Let's have a look at Company Directors Limited. This is their company's house record. Sorry about the shaky screen. Oh, I don't have my coffee. You can see an address in Woodbury Grove. That relates to A1 and Barbara Kahan. Okay, and that was also started using Temple Secretaries Limited, but of a different address. So they're all interlinked. And here you go. Barbara Kahan started that company. This is all linked through, remember. You'll see the evidential links. I'm not making this up. You can go again, you can see Keith Kahan. Again, I believe these are made up names, lied to incorporate this company. I think Companies House are part of the system allowing it. Clifford Chance LLP is linked to this person. Again, you can see from the tabs. So let's look at, where did I get that from? TMF. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so looking at from Clifford Chance, you can see a link to this person here, and you can see TMF Group is used as a correspondence address. Why is it not focusing? TMF Group, there you go, 8th floor. Let's look at TMF Group. So TMF, Trust Management Finance, is a Dutch multinational professional services firm headquartered in Amsterdam, providing accounting, tax, HR administration, global payroll services. As of October 2023, the company has 125 offices. Remember, 26th of October was an article published by the Companies House. Interesting, does that link in? And employs 10,000 people. It also has more than $250 billion in assets under administration. Okay, so their parent company, according to Wikipedia, is CVC Capital Partners. Okay, look how much money they bring in. TMF Group Limited. Let's have a look at TMF Group. Now, they dissolved in 2018. They were only operating for a year, just over a year. They were originally called TMF Group Holdings PLC. Let's have a look at them. TMF Group Holdings PLC. So these are the incorporation documents now. Now, this is important. Mithraism also links to Seven, and you'll see another document. Here's a company called Seven Side Nominees Limited, linked to that same incorporation document. Seven Side Nominees, here we go, care of Legalinks Limited of City Road. City Road frequently comes up in videos. Bear in mind how many addresses there are. And bear in mind there's over 5 million companies. Remember where this all leads in all of my videos. Legalinks, let's have a look at them. Oh, sorry. First of all, we'll go through to CVC Advisors Limited, which is linked through to that company. CVC Advisors. They were incorporated again in 2003. Their original name was April Way Limited. Here's their incorporation document. April Way Limited. There you go. Here's April Way Limited. Clifford Chance. Secretaries Limited, you can see at the bottom here. Okay, Clifford Chance. Clifford Chance nominees, again, we've already mentioned these people. See how they're all linked, and all these companies are on this incorporation document. Clifford Chance nominees Limited, this is why I put this one actually. Clifford Chance secretaries, lots of Clifford Chance companies all associated. Remember, that gives the ability, because of the affiliation, to move money through accounts, including fraudulently obtained money or to avoid tax. Now, sorry, importantly, it mentioned here, now obviously Swift is a big part of what I'm looking at, and it stems from a company called Swift Incorporation linked to my building. Here we've got a list of companies, and on there you can see Swift 596 Limited. So when I've conducted research at them, there you go, this is a Companies House record search, Swift 596 Limited. Now, bear in mind, all limited companies should be advertised through them, but it doesn't come up. However, these companies do. And this is where I believe they've allowed a link. So you can see Brookson 5969F comes up when you search that Swift number. This is their company records now, Brookson Limited. Let's have a look at this company. Okay, now they dissolved. Interesting. Look, 2007 they were incorporated. They dissolved fairly recently in September 2023. Since I've been reporting this fraud, they've dissolved. Is that a coincidence? Okay, so this is their incorporation documents. Let's have a look at them. Here we go. So, Brookson 5969F. Let's have a look. Here we go. Brookson 5969F. And here you go in the middle. Jordans Limited. Jordans Secretaries Limited at the bottom as well. Remember, Jordans is linked through this fraud to my company. Let's look at Directors Galore Limited. Now, I've mentioned them for some reason. Is that because they're on... Why did I mention them? Oh, that's right. Because their original company name is Brookson. Brookson Directors Limited. Okay, so what I've done is I've searched Brookson Directors Limited because they are on this incorporation document. That's why. I wish I'd highlighted this one. For some reason, I think I forgot to highlight them. Brookson Directors Limited, okay, is linked to that document. So you see, I'm following an evidential chain through these documents. It's really important I show evidence. They were originally called a company called Field Bureau Limited, okay, from December 2000 until December 2014 when they changed. Look at their incorporation document here. You can see Field Bureau Limited. Lo and behold, Swift Incorporations Limited started them along with Jordans Limited. You can see how this all links. Now, that's covered that evidential link. Let's look at other media companies. Remember, I've been contacting all of these to try and get these on board to help with this fraud. This is why they're not doing it. BBC.com Limited started in 2006. They were started with Swift Incorporations Limited. Right, they're all being controlled by the government to enable this fraud to continue, and this has been going on for decades. Swift Incorporations Limited is their incorporation document, BBC.com. You can see Jordans. You can see I'm not making any of this up. Now here's an article. A former BBC chief who covered up the Jimmy Savile paedophile scandal appointed as chief executive officer of CNN. This was from August 30th, 2023. CNN have appointed Mark Thompson, notorious former BBC Director General, who was in charge when the network decided to cover up the crimes, okay, of the celebrity paedophile Jimmy Savile. It's important. So they've just appointed. That may not be true. It's the news that's given that. They might be lying, but it appears as though this could be true. So let's have a look at Sir Mark Thomas on Wiki. Bear with me. Here we go. So this is a Wikipedia search on Mark Thomas. Here you can see Sir Mark Thomas, genealogy company in the world, and he was chief executive of cable news network for CNN. So it's true. He's the former president and chief executive of the New York Times Company. There's an article on Mark Thomas. There he is. I'm not saying he's involved in fraud. Okay. So let's look at BBC Limited. We know BBC.com, was it? BBC.com? What's it called? BBC.com Limited was started up using Swift. Let's have a look at BBC Limited. Now, they were incorporated in 2008. Now, they were incorporated using a company called Form 10 Secretaries FD Limited. Let's have a look at that company. Now, these feature frequently throughout my research, even though there's over 5 million companies. It's almost impossible for me to come to the same conclusions unless there is validity in my research. Form 10. Here we go. Now, Form 10 Limited was started using, remember from the Ham and High article, they were started using A1 Company Services Limited of 788, 790 Finchley Road, notorious for fraudulent activity, money laundering, all sorts, which will be linked to most of the problems around the world. So there you go, we've got a connection. Let's have a look at Channel 4 Television Company Limited. Now you'll understand why no news media company has been responding to me. Channel 4 Television Companies Limited. This can all be stopped peacefully, by the way. Can all be prevented, and they can manage the world without committing a crime against the people and causing suffering. It absolutely can be done. Here we go, through incorporation documents. Channel 4 Television Company. Sorry, I was just looking back at something else. You can see Allen and Overy of 9 Cheapside, London is linked to that incorporation document. Let's look at Allen and Overy. Address of 1 Bishop's Garden. Oh, we also have, sorry, was there something else I highlighted in there? No. Allen and Overy. They're so worried about this that apparently the Klaus Schwab, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Klaus, he's recently said, apparently, I don't know how true this is, he started the World Economic Forum. He said recently that he's trying to get, sorry, I've seen an article, let me rephrase that. I've seen an article that suggests he is trying to compel governments to arrest anybody that provides misinformation online. Very recently he said that. So I anticipate that they will try and say this is misinformation, but it's not. I'm showing you public documents. There's a chance I'll be arrested. I could be killed. I could lose my property. So they're so worried about this because they've been planning it for so long. So you can see on the incorporation document for Allen & Overy LLP, you've got one new change on there. One new change. There you go. Let's look at one new change. So when you do a search, as Companies House record search, there's a couple comes up. You actually got, which I'm going to look at in a minute. Sorry, Gordon, you may not be involved in this. You use financial advisors. You may not be directly involved in this, but your company, unfortunately, does crop up. So when you do a search on Companies House, it comes up with these two companies for one new change. So let's have a look at them. One New Change Limited, care of KMPG LLP. Let's look at the incorporation documents. One New Change Limited. Let's keep going through the incorporation document. Jamie Oliver is linked to this document. Jamie Oliver Restaurant Group Limited, 2 Gay Street. Sorry, Jamie Oliver, if you're not involved in this, but unfortunately the evidential link is linking through to you. Now let's look at the other one change company. You've got Gordon Ramsay, One New Change. And bear in mind, this links to media companies. This stems from BBC. Sorry, Channel 4, I believe. I'll refresh my memory. Allen & Overy, it stems from, yep, Channel 4. Here we go. So this stems from research in relation to Channel 4, and it is linked to Jamie Oliver and to Gordon Ramsay's, to their companies associated with them. Okay, I'm not saying they're involved in fraud. None of the people that I'm mentioning, I'm saying, are directly involved in fraud. However, their companies certainly appear to be linked through to a fraudulent system that is causing many problems around the world. This is the incorporation document. Oh my goodness, zoom in. Here, I'm just trying to show you evidence that you know I'm not making this up. Gordon Ramsay, and here you go on the incorporation document for Gordon Ramsay Company is Finchley Road. Again, 788, 790 Finchley Road, and A1 Company Services Limited. Remember, that is mentioned in the Ham and High article. So let's have a look at CNN. Now we know that the former BBC gentleman was linked to them according to that article. So let's have a look at them. CNN, or the cable news network, is a multinational news channel and website headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, in US by American media proprietor Ted Turner. He's also linked to Warner Brothers and Discovery. Let's look at them again. So we've got one here. A new company they've recently incorporated since I've reported the fraud. Incorporated on the 31st of August 2023. But there is a previous one. Okay, it was incorporated again in 2003. So I think 2003 is quite a key time when they tried to then amalgamate these companies through into Jordans and Vistra to be part of this fraudulent system. Cable News International, let's have a look at them. Incorporated in 2003. Again, remember, that's not the same company. That is this company here, Cable News International, 2003. They were originally called Cable News Limited. Here's their incorporation document. Cable News Limited. Here you go, Cable News Limited. Cable News Limited. These are all part of their incorporation documents. Cable News Limited. Queensgate. The word Queen and King comes up a lot. I'll leave you to that. You've got there someone on the incorporation document who is the president of TBS International. Okay, who's this person here, I believe, if they're giving correct details? Louise Sams. Now, Louise Sams, on the bottom of this document, you can see how many companies, look, all linked through on this document. Now, if they are part of this fraudulent system and the evidence is leading from this fraudulent system to them, you're talking massive amounts of money. Now, if it is just tax evasion, then obviously it means members of the public being forced to pay through the PAYE system through their employees, who are conglomerate companies possibly involved in this. Then you can see that they are victims, and they can be used to control the general public, but under a method of fraud. It can't happen. You can't do it through crime. Corporation Trust Company, these are other companies. So we've got the Corporation Trust Company. This is signed at the bottom of this document by Louise Sams. Okay, Cable News International, Delaware Incorporated, American companies, some of these. Corporation Trust Center, Orange Street. Let's have a look at CT Corporation that was listed. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of Wolters Kluwer, a multinational information services company based in the Netherlands. Again, it comes back to the Netherlands, and you'll see there's a few things come back to the Netherlands. Company is a wholly owned subsidiary of Wolters Kluwer. So they're now owned by... Let's have a look at Wolters Kluwer Holdings UK Limited. These are their incorporation records, 1977. They were originally called... Oh, where is me? Lost my blooming thing. Completely lost it now. Sorry there, completely lost my way again. So this is Wolters Kluwer. Now you can see they were incorporated back in, as we said, 1977, and they were called, so they were not a British firm, look, according to this, Information on Communicator United Kingdom Limited. So it sounds French. This is their incorporation document linked to them. Well, that does not look like any of those to me. So Companies House records, again, have been falsified. They're not accurately reflecting the original company name. And yet here we are. Let's just make sure of that before I say that. Yeah, you can see that is not the same name. You can see in the middle there, Limited. That's what it was incorporated under. But it is certainly not, as far as I can see, any of those names again. So it comes back and it's therefore not a legal entity. Now that's a foreign word. Whether, I doubt it though, whether that is the foreign word, foreign translation into English, but I doubt it. So you can see it was incorporated 1948. But here we are again. This says 1977. But you can clearly see that the incorporation document, if I can find it correctly, was in 1948. Not only that, but you can see a company here called Lewis, Coates and Lucas Limited on the bottom. So you'd think, well, that's also going to be a legitimate company that's registered with Companies House. So you can see all of the inconsistencies, all part of this fraud. Here's Lewis, Coates and Lucas Limited. And again, you can see Lewis, Coates and Limited. I've just zoomed in a little bit. So let's research Lewis, Coates and Lucas Limited. Now they were at some point, this is Google search, comes up with an address. Now you'll recognise that address hopefully, Thomas Street, London. That is the same street used for Jordans, linked to Jordans, okay? Okay, so this is, I can't actually find them on Companies House, so I did a bit more research, and you can see here, this is another bit of research on Lewis, Coates and Lucas Limited. Incorporated 1984, according to this. And here are Lewis, Coates and Lucas Limited. It's important, it's the same wording as on the document. It's got a registration number for when it is incorporated as 018114002. So let's search that number, because I know that you can search. And here we go again. You've got another bit of research. It confirms 018114002. Now, Companies House, you can search by a company number. And yet here we are. There's no results. This is a Companies House search on gov.uk. No results found. This is fraud. They're advertising a company that's limited, hasn't been registered. Oh, yeah, so then, sorry. What I thought is, okay, well, maybe it's under this number, non-trading company number. But they're not trading, are they? If they're advertising on a document, they're trading for another company. That shows they're trading. But here we are saying it's a non-trading number, and these are the registration numbers. Here we are. There is no trace on either of those numbers on Companies House records. This is fraud. Let's look at The Guardian. Okay, remember they did the article in relation to the fraud, the red flag in relation to Operation Meadows for Lloyds Bank being involved in fraud previously. £3 billion worth of compensation. They were originally, according to Companies House records, started up using the name Guardian and Manchester Evening News Public Limited, the in brackets, in 1907. An old company. But the incorporation document shows Guardian Limited. Well, that's not what it says on Companies House records. Look, it's either should be Guardian Media Group PLC or Guardian and Manchester Evening News Public Limited, the. But here we are, called Guardian Limited, and that was linked directly through from Companies House records. This is fraud. And you can see that on that record, corporation document, record through Companies House, Guardian Limited is linked again. Remember, we've mentioned it. Form 10 Secretaries FD Limited. Again, Finchley Road. And here's formation. This is the incorporation document for Guardian Limited, just to show you. Okay, so let's look at the Times Media Limited. Surely not everyone's involved in this. Linked to this. They were started in 1966. Again, an old company. Their original name, according to this, was Times Newspaper Limited in 1966. And this is correct. You've got Times, I think that's Times. Times Newspapers Limited. Okay, so these are their old incorporation documents. Times Newspapers Limited, yep. So this is all correct. This is good. It's looking good. And at the bottom here, you've got, this is where it all goes wrong, you've got the Solicitors Law Stationery Society Limited at the bottom. Again, this is the incorporation document. So the solicitors, remember, we've seen them already, the Solicitors Law Stationery Society Limited, advertising as a company. You would have thought it's got to be trading if it's on a document for another company. Let's look at them. It comes up, the only search that comes up, okay, and here it is, you'll see, actually, no, we'll come to that in a minute, is this company here, Waterloo Business Supplies Limited. My goodness, I'm struggling to zoom. Waterloo Business Supplies Limited. Now, they were incorporated in 1989. Okay. Now, bearing in mind that document, and this happens a lot, is from when was it, 1966? Where is it? Sorry, I'm just trying to find when they were incorporated. In 1966, according to Companies House records. Just trying to see if I can find a date on the incorporation form itself. Yeah, there we go. 1st of December 1960. Oh my goodness. You can just about see it says 66, I believe. And now here we are with a company advertised as a limited trading company, but they weren't even trading. And look, let's see. They were originally. This is the only only company that comes up with research on that company. The Solicitors Law Stationery Society Limited. There you go. So they were called that at this period of time between 1989 and 1999. But of course, that other document is 1966, and yet here we go. It's fraud. It's fraud through Companies House records. So let's look at their incorporation documents anyway. They were originally called Cabin Tree Limited. Again, you can see an address, City Road, that comes up frequently. And also this name, you'll need to remember this name because it links back in another video. Sundar Mansukani. And you can see that Stephen Cox Law Services is advertised on this. This is the incorporation document for Waterloo Business Supplies, aka the Solicitors Law Stationery Society Limited, which is on the bottom of a lot of the documents in my research. And here you go, you can see Cabin Tree Limited. So again, the incorporation document, you can see Stephen Cox again. And you can see Stephen Cox again, Law Services Limited. All right, all over these documents. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. So there's Cabin Tree Limited. So let's have a look at Stephen Cox Law Services. So the only thing that comes up is this company. As soon as you search this in Companies House Records, it comes up. The first one is this. Normally, if you search a company name, it will come up right at the top if it's the right name. It will come right up at the top. But here's the top heading, Stephen Cox Construction Management Services Limited. Remember, a lot of this relates to real estate, okay? The fraud through real estate. Look at all of my other videos. It's really important to understand this. They dissolved on the 29th of March 2016. So it can't be them. Let's have a look at them anyway. Let's have a look at Sky News now. So Sky News, a British free-to-air television news channel. Okay, it is owned by Sky Group, a division of Comcast. In 2019, Sky News was named Royal Television Society News Channel of the Year, 12th time. A sister channel, this is Wikipedia by the way, Sky News Arabia is operated as a joint venture with the Abu Dhabi, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, as a joint venture with the Abu Dhabi Media Investment Corporation, a channel called Sky News International, simulcasting the UK channels directly but without British advertisement, is available in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, South Asia, Asia Pacific, Australia and the Americas. Narrated segments which generally cover lighter issues unrelated to current news. Let's look at Sky News Limited. Surely they're not all connected through to Jordan's and this system of fraud and fake companies, fake registration through Companies House. Sky News Limited. Sky News Limited in Middlesex, private limited company. So these are the incorporation documents now for Sky News Limited. Zoom in. So we've got British Sky Broadcasting Group PLC is linked through that document. Sky PLC. So that was Sky News Limited. Let's look at Sky Limited. Okay. They were incorporated in 1988 of Grant Way. Same address you can see there. My goodness me. Zoom in. Grant Way. So what I'm trying to show you here is that all media is being controlled through the same companies and by government as well, and we are not being given the truth of what's happening. In fact, we could be being provided misinformation completely, and I suspect we are, to get us to try and comply to this method of fraud. And also let us see what they want us to see in relation to the wars that are going on, and feeding us information that they want us to see that could be false to allow this to continue. It's been going on for decades. So they were originally called the British Satellite... Oh no, sorry, look how many names this company's got. Absolutely loads. It's Sky Limited. Look how many times they've changed their names. But originally, back in their incorporation in 1988, they were called MIT Notes Limited, according to Companies House Records. But they've changed their names a lot. Remember, companies will change their names. They will dissolve companies to avoid detection for any fraud. I'm not saying that's happening with Sky, but I'm just showing you the public records. MIT Notes Limited. Here you go. Let's look at their incorporation document. And lo and behold, they were started by Swift Incorporations Limited. See where this is going? And you can see, very importantly, whenever Swift is mentioned, I haven't mentioned this actually, you've got Brecon and Powers, if that's how you pronounce it. That is in Wales. And don't forget, Companies House is based in Wales, if you didn't know that. And here we go, Jordan's again. Jordan's and Son Limited, which is obviously linked to Jordan's, is also on there. Here you go, I'm just showing you these evidential documents. Let's look at ITV PLC. Look at ITV. So they were still, there you go, 2003 again. It's a big year. Amalgamation of companies, I believe, as a plan to carry on, I believe, this fraudulent system. But it's now been exposed. It's too late. They've got to change it now. If they don't, my goodness me, there's going to be serious problems. ITV PLC. They were originally called, according to this, I'm not going to say it, but there you go. You can see what it says from 2003. But look, They were only called it from 18th of November to the 3rd of December the same year. 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, and suddenly they changed their name. Why have they done that? To avoid accountability, I believe, for something that's going on. Here you go. Here's their name again. Sorry, ITV. Sorry, everybody, but the game's up. Here you go. You can see this is their incorporation document, okay, for the company. Started up by company Lovells is on there. You can see on the incorporation document then it leads to this company, Sergeants Inn Nominees Limited. Here we go, Sergeants Inn Nominees Limited. This is the incorporation for ITV. Let's have a look at Sergeants Inn, shall we? Here they are. Oh look, they've dissolved in January 2023, even though they were trading since 2001. Interesting. Since I've reported the fraud linked to ITV. Let's look at Sergeants Inn, again, still their incorporation documents. Sergeants Inn Chambers Limited is what they were called. Sergeants Inn Chambers Limited. Sorry, I'm getting a bit excited on it. There you go, here's their incorporation document. Sergeants Inn Chambers Limited. Let's have a look at them. Sergeants Inn, oh my goodness. Sergeants Inn Chambers Limited. Linked to Bloomsbury Secretaries Limited. Bloomsbury Foundations Limited. Let's look at those. Still the same incorporation document. Woodbury Directors Limited. Remember, Woodbury relates to Barbican's links addresses. 2nd of July 2001. I've highlighted that. I can't remember why I've done so many of these documents, you'll see, but for some reason I'm sure it'll become apparent. This date is highlighted by me, 2nd of July 2001. There we go, Bloomsbury Formations Limited, 2nd of July 2001. A check on them, Companies House check, brings up Bloomsbury Formations Limited. Now they were dissolved on the 7th of April 2015. Here's that company, Bloomsbury Formations. Now they were incorporated in 2009. Now incorporated in 2009, and yet here they are. That's why I highlighted it. Here they are on a document from 2001. How's that possible? Unless they've created a duplicate company elsewhere to try and hide this fraud and hide the links. So let's look at Bloomsbury Formations Limited anyway, their incorporation documents. It's got this person linked to it. An address in Moscow in Russia. Interesting, but this isn't. I've got significant more evidence and information in relation to everything I'm showing, but I'm just showing you snippets of it. If they delete it from Companies House records, we will know. It also says, I just highlighted this because on a lot of the documents, this is important, it says the making of false statement could result in liability to criminal prosecution. Now that was a Companies House registration document. I actually suspect that Companies House are involved in this fraud with the government. And this is why they're so worried about it. You can see again it links to, this is the same incorporation document. Links to this company based in Cyprus. Remember we talked about offshore accounts. That allows us a tax haven. Okay, it can also be used to avoid prosecution for money laundering in relation to criminally obtained money obtained unlawfully. Goes to APT. Again, in Moscow, Russia. Okay, let's look at the Daily Express. So Daily Express is a national daily middle market newspaper published in London as a flagship of Express newspapers owned by publisher Reach PLC. Let's look at Express newspapers. Here we go, Express newspapers. Oh. Express newspapers. Oh my goodness. 1 Canada Square, that comes up a lot. Incorporated 1915. Wow, they're old. 1915, still active at the time of this document being incorporated. Now what I've done is just scaled screenshots taken from Companies House and news articles into documents. They were originally called in 1915, according to this, Beaverbrook Newspapers Limited. Beaverbrook Newspapers Limited. Let's have a look. They were not called that at all. They were called the London Express newspaper. This is directly linked, remember, from this Companies House record, but they're saying they were called this when they incorporated. But that's not the case. They should either be called this, which is what they're trading as advertising on Companies House, or this. But here they are. It's a different name. Okay, it's the London Express newspapers, not, load up document please, not Express newspapers. This is fraud. So where were we going with that? Yeah, so where did I go with that? Hold on, we'll come to this other one. Here we go. Yeah, so 1915 and there we go. Importantly at the bottom, you've got Jordan and Sons Limited right back then on this incorporation document. And it was 1915. Look, back then, this was planned. Remember, this was before the wars. This is how big this is. The London Express newspapers, Jordan's Limited. It's just another part of the incorporation documents, just to show you. Ooh. This can all be changed. I know this all sounds like doom and gloom. It can be changed. It will have an effect on the economy massively, this, but we must have moral principles, a moral compass, and what is wrong and right. We cannot commit crime against people, against the general public. We have to go back to trust and faith in people, and this is going to allow that. So this is looking at Reach PLC. Remember, they have taken over the umbrella of the express companies. In 1904 they were incorporated. Liverpool Daily Post and Echo in 1904, according to this. Now here we go, the Liverpool Daily Post. So again, it wasn't called that at all. It was called, all under this umbrella, the Liverpool Daily. It's hard to read because it's such an old document. There's obviously a lot more words, even if you can't read it. And yet here we are, Companies House record saying that it was called that. Okay, and it's changed its name over the time, Trinity Mirror PLC. But no, it wasn't called that at all. This is fraud. So on those documents, where was it? At the bottom here, it had, of the incorporation document for... sorry, I'm losing my way again. Load up, please. Reach PLC. It had this company, W.T. Woodrow and Co. Okay, it doesn't say limited. But research comes back on Google for this. There's no limited company coming up. It doesn't say limited, to be fair. This is research is showing it. So there's no actual... oh, that was right. So where did I get this research from? Fullerton, right. Oh no, that was it. So when I did a search, it came back, can't see it here, but it came back with a company called Fullerton and Lloyd. Okay, with HT, that was right. I did the search and it came back with a document linked through Google, because you can see HT Woodrow and Co. Limited. Now this says limited, but yet there is no limited company under that name that I could find. Oh dear. That's why I'm trying to remember. I've done so many of these. And here you go, you can see HT Co. Limited. Now let's look at Clifford Chance. Again, remember Clifford Chance is linked to Mithras Limited. Oh, that's right. This is where I've just did a bit of research. Oh no, sorry, it was just showing that Mithras Limited is linked to Clifford Chance. So let's look at Reach PLC. we've just looked at. Okay, it's also known as the Trinity Mirror between those dates. It is one of the UK's biggest newspaper groups, publishing 240 regional papers in addition to the national Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, the Sunday People, Daily Express, Sunday Express, Daily Star Sunday, as well as Scottish Daily Record and Sunday Mail and the magazine OK. In 1984, Pergam Holdings, a company owned by Robert Maxwell, remember that, Robert Maxwell, acquired the Daily Mirror from Reed International. Okay, so this is linked. This is through Wikipedia. So I've just put a bit of history about. In 1991, the company was due to be investigated via an Anton Pillar order for alleged theft of software from companies including Adobe, Inc., Autodesk, and Microsoft. The action was delayed as it coincided with Maxwell's death, but was recommenced in 1992. Subsequently, it is reported that at the Mirror Group, for instance, 700 out of 800 software programs in use were found to be illegal. So that happened around the time of Maxwell's death or after Maxwell's death. That's right. So this is starting to look at Reach PLC. Trinity Mirror PLC. In September 2008, the company announced that it would be closing printing plant in Liverpool. In 2008, after 150 years of printing and city transfer in the city and transferring the work to Oldham. In January 2001, former MP Paul Marsden announced that he was considering taking legal action against Trinity Mirror over alleged phone hacking. Now, my phone has been hacked over this, 100%. I've had people trying to put apps on there to find me. Emails deleted and all sorts. In February 2018, the company completed the acquisition of the publishing assets of Northern and Shell, including the Daily Express, Sunday Express, Daily Mirror, and Daily Star and OK. Following completion, Trinity Mirror announced a plan to rebrand as Reach. All right, so all of those companies, media companies, rebranded as Reach, subject to investor approval at a meeting scheduled for May 2018. On 15th of December 2023, you might have seen this in news, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, was awarded £140,600 by the High Court in damages against the Mirror Group newspapers. This is all on the same article. After 15 out of 33 sample articles in his claim against MGN were ruled as being the product of phone hacking. This is all related to the fraud. And here we go, Reach Editor, July 2023 is another article. Don't know who did it, sorry. This is a quick search, found this. 19th July 2023. Today, Reach announced that Group Editor-in-Chief Lloyd Embley has decided to step down from his role effective from today. Has he resigned because of everything that is being uncovered?